Hi, it's Rob Moore here from Progressive on the couch with Peter Singh. Peter, this is everyone.
Hi, everyone.
And everyone, this is Peter. Now, you would not believe what an amazing, truly deeply moving story Peter has. Now, we may have time to go into it in this video. If we don't in this video, you certainly will see it. Peter's made a very, very significant amount of income in a short period of time using a particular strategy that you may know that we've been teaching recently, and I just wanted to give the chance for Peter to share with you what he's done. So, Peter, can you just tell us what the net income is from the portfolio that you've built or you control?
At the moment, where passive income I'm taking from the multi-let strategy that I'm doing at the moment is around £6,000 per month.
Okay, and in how long has it taken you to build that passive income?
Since March of this year.
Okay, so we're talking about what? That's 10 months?
About 10 months.
10 months. So in 10 months you've gone from, did you start with income or were you at zero?
I started at zero. Basically in February of this year, I had some money come in, payment protection reclaim.
Yeah.
I'd saved some income from my previous job. Mm-hmm. And I was made redundant from my previous job in March of this year, which I was given a little bit of money for as well.
Sure.
And then I got cracking in March.
Yeah. Okay. So you did the multi-let without the sweat training with us?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I did that in I think it was July or August of this year.
Okay. So started in March, trained with us in July, August. Now we're kind of 6 months after that, a little bit more, and you've gone from zero to 6,000 net a month.
That's right, yeah.
So can you just detail that out a bit? So you're using the rent-to-rent multi-let without the sweat strategy.
That's right.
So roughly how many properties is that? Talk us through some of the numbers.
Well, basically at the moment I've just completed on my 7th. I'm currently in negotiations with a private landlord at the moment. Yeah. Where I'm expecting to take 3 on. Okay. I started off with the first one, which went off really great. Mm-hmm. I worked out the worst case scenario. I was expecting to cash flow about 600 a month off of it. Okay. On the first one, I cash flowed £950.
Wow. On your first deal.
Yeah, and it was very shocking at the time, but it gave a good confidence boost.
What, shocking as in you didn't expect that much?
I didn't expect 950. No. I was expecting around about 500, 600.
Sure. Okay, so I just want to pause at this point because what I don't want anyone to think that this is one of these videos where I would just show you how easy it is and it's a doddle and you can get rich in 5 minutes. I know you've worked hard in that time, even though it's a short time. You got 950 in your first deal. I mean, you know, has every deal been smooth? Just sort of talk over, you know, how easy you found it.
No, not every deal has been smooth. Like, for example, the first one, it worked very well. We took the house on. We had it fully tenanted within about 2.5 weeks. Wow. The quality, the house, we took the rent on at £1,100. The utilities, including council tax, was around about £280. £1,380 was our overheads. Yeah. We were taking £500 for one of the rooms downstairs. I think it's £400 for the back room, £420 for the middle room. £520 for one of the front ones upstairs, and it was £480 for the other one. Sure. It was cash flowing around 900, 950. Yeah. The house itself was a very good quality house, and I think that's what helped us to do very well. Sure. Some of the obstacles we've come across have been we've had houses that look good when you view it. They look good when you view it. Like you look at it and you're like, yep, I'll take it if it's my criteria. I'm looking for 3-bedroom, 2-reception house. It's perfect. Yeah. But then when you actually get to grips with it and you start putting the beds in and the furniture in, you realise that there's things in the house that need dealing with. For example, you get mould sometimes. Sometimes I've realised from experience now that you get houses where wood flooring, you think, it looks good. But when you're actually there and you stay in that multi-let for a few days while you're working on it, you realise that it's not very comfortable. Sure. So sometimes you've got a carpet. So expenses do build up. Sure. There's some of the obstacles we've had. Sometimes I've had obstacles where the house has been too far away from the train station, and I've gone for the quality of the house and I thought, it's fine. And those houses take a little bit longer to multi-let out.
But you're saying all this and still in really about 6 months you've gone from zero to actual houses 0 to what 7?
That's right. Yeah.
And 0 to 6,000 a month.
That's right.
So yeah, you've had challenges, but you've also done do you feel like quite proud of what you've done?
Yeah, I feel proud of what I've done, but I feel that if I'm to be honest, this year was about laying the foundation.
Yeah.
When I mean this year, I mean last year was about laying the foundation.
Yeah.
This year is the year to really go forward and crack on. Yeah.
Sure. So what's your targets? Where do you want to be?
Well, I mean, my targets for this year, I want to be hitting at least 2 or 3 multi-lets per month. I want to build a team that work with me.
Yeah.
And I want to eventually be mentoring people as well. I'm already doing that on the side at the moment. But I want to have the website up and running and everything going. So.
Okay. So obviously, for those people who don't really know what rent to rent or multi-let without the sweat strategy is, you're not even buying these properties, are you?
No, you're not.
So you're not. So you said earlier about you collected a bit of cash together from redundancy and bits and bobs.
Yeah.
So but what was that cash for? Did you use it?
Basically, what had happened all my life, I've not really been able to save money.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
All your life, yeah.
Most of my life. Well, I feel old now. Yeah. But I mean, most of my life, I've not been able to save money. I was determined. The place that I worked previously before I got made redundant was Ford Motor Company. They pay quite well, even though it's production line work. It pays okay compared to the jobs that I've done previously.
Yeah.
So I was determined to save money in that time there, and I did. 1 month before I left, I had a payment protection claim come through. That was about £2,500.
Yeah. And what did you use that money for? If you're not putting deposits in, was that just to sort of fund? Because have you been doing this full time?
Well, now I've gone full time. Yeah.
Right, but you hadn't initially.
And I've basically gone full time by about a month into it because I've been made redundant.
Yeah.
But there's certain areas that we'll cover later about what.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So how much do you think? Do people need a lot of money to start this?
No, you don't. No. I mean, like I said, I got £2,500 from the payment protection claim. I had about £4,000 when I left my previous job, and I'd saved about £5,000. But I didn't need £10,000 to start. The actual
so if someone watching the video doesn't have £10,000, does that mean they can't start?
No, it doesn't, because the amount of money I actually invested in my first multi-let, the house was £1,100 per month rent. I paid 1 month deposit, 1 month advance rent, 2,200, and I think the administration fees, estate agent fees come to about 350. But within about 2,200, say about £2,600.
Yeah.
And then I had to furnish it.
Yeah.
That cost about £800 putting the beds in and stuff. So altogether about £3,200.
But then you're getting 950 rent, so you get that back in 4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you didn't, but just thinking creatively, even if someone doesn't have that money, I guess they could JV.
Yeah, they could JV. There's always other alternatives. I mean, you could JV. You could potentially, like I just said, that you paid £800 to put the furniture in the house. You don't have to put furniture in all the rooms. No, you could potentially put a double bed and a wardrobe. Furnish that room for a bed costs £100. Wardrobe might cost you £50. You could. It costs you about maybe between £150 to £200 to furnish the room. You could put that for a viewing, and then and then when the tenants come around, you can show them the rooms, and you can just say that you can explain to them that this room, how this is furnished, will be the same quality in the other rooms. And when that gets taken and you've got money coming there, then you can use that to furnish the other one if you wanted to do it like that.
Okay.
So there's always other options.
Sure. So since knowing you, and again, we might get a chance to talk in a bit more detail about how you got into this business, because it will blow you away. You really have done a lot in a short period of time. And I've seen other people who've been exposed to this strategy, who've bought 1 or 2, or, or controlling 1 or 2, however packaging it, whatever you want to call it, but not really got the results that you have. So much so that, I mean, I was a bit reticent about doing this video because £6,000 passive income in a few months does sound a bit like, hula, like what a lot of those people promote that I know is possible because I've seen it so many times, but I know that not everyone does do it. What would you say to someone who's maybe as motivated as you would want those results? What would your top bit of advice be, seeing as you've done it?
I mean, the best advice that I would give is that we can learn strategies, we can learn how to do things, but you need to get up and put it into action. That's the main thing I've learned. And just even if you start with the thought in mind that you're going to take this one on and just do one, from there build your confidence. You might have a bad start, you might have a good start, but even if you have a bad start, that doesn't mean put your hands down and that's it, game over. Look at the positives in every situation and embrace them and try and move forward. That's what I've tried to do all the way through.
Did you think it was important, because obviously you trained with us and it sounds like you learned as much actually doing it as you did training yourself as well, but did you think getting yourself educated was important?
Of course, yeah, education is very important. I mean, the fact is you can learn from your own experiences, which you learn a lot from as well.
But it can cost you a lot of money, can't it?
Yeah. And it can be, how do I put it, you can learning from a training company like here and educating yourself is important because it helps you to learn from other people's mistakes.
Sure.
And that's part of the learnings as well.
Okay, so a bit later on in another video, we're going to talk about your full story. So let's not go into the detail here, but could you just very briefly share where you were a couple or 3 or 4 years ago? Just give us, the real brief outline so that, people can really get to grips with how amazing it is as what you've done.
Where I was 3 or 4 years ago.
Just the whole journey. I mean, you wouldn't know this, Peter and I talking because we know each other quite well, but at the back of the masterclass, you came to our masterclass, a 4-day event, and Peter was quite quiet and was giving me the eyes the whole weekend. I was trying all weekend to crack you, weren't I, to get you involved in it all. And at the end, on the 4th day, he pulled me aside, pulled me right to the back of the room and just told me his whole story, really emotional. And it's just amazing. So I know we haven't got hours, and it took us a long time to talk about it, but just tell everyone kind of really briefly where you were, what you've gone through, and now where you are.
Basically 4 years ago, I was basically going through a time in my life where I was gambling. It started off at a young age where I was gambling and I used to lose quite a lot of money. There came a phase in my life when I started to make money from it. My friends started to find out about it. They wanted to get involved. I didn't want to gamble with other people's money, especially friends. I gave in to the pressures at the time, and I did gamble with their money. And that's what they wanted to do, and they expected a high return from it. It never worked out the way that they wanted it to work out. In a nutshell, it basically turned very nasty. It turned nasty. And these people basically wanted their money back. They wanted their money back. In a nutshell, they basically wanted their money back. They extorted money from my family. My family, mum and dad, worked in factories all their life, so raising a large amount of money was very hard for them. These people were demanding like £19,000-20,000. For my family, this was hard. They had to take loans out at the time. I was receiving threats that I would get killed. My family would be killed. I couldn't tell my family that these were the threats that I was receiving. Although I didn't want to let them know that their lives could be at risk.
Sure.
But I told them that mine was. That was the only way I could. And my father was surprisingly very supportive. Me and my father didn't have a very good relationship up until that point. Briefly, my father did raise the money over 3 installments. They sent a middle person to come and take the money from my father at a service station. These people were part of the local Sikh community within my area, who I'd grown up with, who I thought at the time were my friends. Well, obviously in hindsight, when I look now, I realise what kind of friends they were. And the truth is, they took that money, and then having taken that money, my father had said to these people at the service station, from this day onwards, you leave my son alone, otherwise we're going to police. At the time when these people wanted the money, my father said, let's go to the police. And I told my father it wasn't an option, because these people had said that they've got contacts within the police, and if I informed the police that I would get killed. And at the time I was believing every single threat. Somebody who I thought was my best friend at the time was giving me advice in favour of those people, and I wasn't realising. So I was being manipulated all the way along. 3 months had gone on since, about just as my father had paid the last instalment, they started to pester me again that we want more money, we want more money. And I said, I can't do that. I said...
So they were asking for more than what you owed them, were they?
Yeah, and they wanted more. They were saying that I owed them £50,000. They wanted more. And at the time, I didn't feel that I should have even have to owe them £19,000, because the fact is that they chose to be involved in this. I didn't go running to them. I didn't ask them. I didn't say, here, come on, let's do this. They wanted to be part of it. And then when it didn't go the way they wanted it to go, they wanted to get nasty. And at the time, I didn't even have the courage to speak up to them and say what my inner feelings were.
Yeah.
At the time, I was thinking, well, what the hell? But I couldn't, because I was just constantly had the fear inside me that I couldn't speak up to these people. And that fear was just building up inside and inside. And then it was, it reached a stage that they then said to me that we're going to set a company up in your name, and it's going to trade legitimately in that, and we're going to get the rest of our money like that. And for me, I didn't know what to say or do. At that time, the pressures they were putting on me had been relaxed. Because now in hindsight, when I look at it, it's because they're getting what they wanted. And they had done that, basically. They took documents from me, my passport and stuff, and eventually they basically committed a multi-million-pound fraud. Not them themselves, but through people that they knew. Basically, multi-million-pound fraud had been committed in my name, along with the other people that it was for. They had basically said to me, from the moment that they'd done the fraud, during the fraud, I was working in a pound shop on a till. That was while this was all going on. Then I was told that you have to do this. You have to go to Poland. You have to go to India. And for me, it's shocking. I've been mummy and daddy for my life. I live with my family.
Sure.
And I'll say, I can't make these sacrifices. I can't do this. They said, well, you have to do it. And that same fear was coming back again, what they were putting on me when they took the money from my father. So at the time,
so just so we can understand this, because obviously this sounds quite complicated, that they were using your name to, when you say commit fraud, what they were? Basically,
what they were doing was they were basically doing a VAT fraud.
And how much money did they rack up in this fraud in your name?
Basically, they owed £20 million, I think it was £10 million of money, VAT on my name.
Yeah.
Which was quite shocking at the time. I mean, they were basically, the way that they had manipulated me to such extent, oh no, it's nothing, it's just, all right. And
so what, just getting you to sign stuff?
Signing stuff, and I didn't, at that time, my state of mind was so bad, you could put a death certificate in front of me and I wouldn't even know I'm signing it, you know? And for me, it was like, the pressure was on, and I was just signing, and then eventually they were sending me to this office, you know.
Because this, I mean, I know you don't know, you might not necessarily know this, but obviously you told Mark this as well at the masterclass. Right. When you told me, I could feel everything you were telling me. I just believed you 100%. Yeah. Mark's this kind of like, he needs the proof kind of person. So when it's quite a high profile case online, and he found it online very quickly. And unbelievable. So, has this been resolved yet? Have you been going, where are you at now with it all?
So basically what had happened was, in a nutshell, what happened, they were basically manipulating me, right? They committed the fraud in my name. They were using me as a dummy, telling me to go to this office where there was nothing there. To sit there all day. It was basically a pure stitch up. So I'm sitting in the office, so when it comes to police, they're going to say to them that he was the guy going to the office, he's running the business, he's the director of this company, we all paid our VAT, this man didn't pay it, it's his problem, we're legitimate traders, he's the VAT man who hasn't. And for me it was shocking.
Have you ever,
I've never been in any trouble with the police whatsoever in my life, and for me it was shocking.
Did they, has this concluded? Has anyone been arrested? Well, how it goes? What happened with what?
Yeah. So, but basically, what had happened was eventually my house was raided by police in August '09. and that was a very scary incident for myself and my family, because we never experienced this kind of trouble. But I could sit here and talk all day about this. If I was to go briefly into it, my house was raided and I was taken to a police station, and when I was told by the gang that I'm not allowed to comment at the police station, I'm to say no comment. They'd put a solicitor in place that was going to direct my case in favour of them, so I wouldn't actually get the freedom to say what I really want to say.
So they even had the solicitor bunged?
Right, yeah, and it was really nasty time.
How long's this whole thing lasted?
This lasted from the rest was taken in 2009. This company stuff started in January 2009, and it all got done and dusted in June of this year. Or June of last year, sorry.
So June 2012?
Yeah, that's right.
So the whole thing lasted, what, 3 years?
Well, it started, the company stuff started in 3 years.
And the gambling stuff?
The gambling stuff was in summer 2008.
So
they took the money from my father about November 2008.
So you're talking a whole 4-year process. Is your name been cleared yet?
That's right, I've been cleared.
When did that happen?
I was acquitted at a trial by jury in June of this year.
How many death threats have you had?
I've had a lot of death threats.
Really?
During the time they were taking the money from my family, I was threatened a lot that if I didn't pay it, my people were coming to buy. It was to the extent these people that they wasn't taking no for an answer, and I felt that I couldn't stand up for myself with the pressure that was there. Eventually, when they had basically put me in with this solicitor, and I was to give no comment, even then my inner voice was telling me you got to stand up.
Sure,
I couldn't build the courage.
No, well, I think everyone would understand why. It's not. I don't think it's anything to do with courage.
I mean, eventually, I did decide to change. It took me a long time. It was it reached January 2011. I changed. I decided to take a stand. Even at that point, I couldn't tell my family that this was the friend. I was bottling all in myself.
Sure.
My family didn't even know about the gambling, because that's a big thing in the Sikh culture.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
You can't. And for me, I was just bottling it all in, trying to deal with it inside my own mind.
So since it's all finished, how's the relationship with your family now?
It's excellent now.
Is it?
Yeah.
And is that one of the silver linings? Is it? I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, if I look at what's come out of it, I mean, I think this was a blessing. I mean, when I look at it now, I mean, the fact is that any big event that happens in your life is an opportunity for a big change.
Sure. Yeah.
And I took it as an opportunity to change, and it also made me realise the power of the decisions we make in our life. When I actually decided to stand up for myself, and I stuck by that. First, I decided to stand up for myself, and then I was the threats come onto me again, and I gave in again as well. And then they changed me back to another one.
Yeah.
And then I decided once and for all that I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to stick to this decision. I don't care what's going to happen. And when I made that decision, I stuck by it, and I went through regardless of they gave me a number of threats. Even when I changed this, even when I went to the one that they wanted me to go to, they were threatening me. They were saying to me, "You need to show your defence statement." They started following me in cars to try and get me, but I just wasn't having none of it at that point. I just had enough.
And do you think that what you've learned? Sorry to interrupt you, Peter. Do you think that you've learned? Do you think it helped you in your property business?
Of course, massively. I mean, when the positive attitude that I took from the challenges that I faced between 2008 to 2012, even up to and during the trial, the mindset that I acquired during the last, say, year or so, 2 years up to the trial, has helped me massively throughout life in all aspects of my life as well. It's helped me massively. I mean, when I do my multi-let strategy, I don't have no time for negative attitude. It just has to be positive. You're going to get an obstacle, you've just got to deal with it and overcome it. You ain't got no time to sit there and put your hands down for, no, this has happened.
No, sure.
You've just got to crack on. You've got to find ways around things, you know?
And do you think that's helped you do so well so quick?
I think that's contributed towards it. I mean, the fact is we can have all the strategies in the world, but in my opinion, you need to be willing to take the action.
Sure.
As soon as you become willing to take the action and you make strong decisions, and you stick to those decisions, stay focused with those decisions, I think we can achieve whatever we want.
Sure.
You don't have to be nothing special, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I've realised. The more courage you can demonstrate, and the more good quality decisions we can make in life. These are what shape our destiny, innit?
Sure.
And for me, I realised that through the challenges that I faced with all this legal case that I went through, and I've managed to take that into what I'm doing now, and that's what I believe helped me to be successful. But
so do you think anyone has any excuses not to succeed?
No.
No.
Nobody has an excuse not to succeed. I mean, the fact is, we just need to be committed. We need to set goals. One thing I've learned is the power of setting goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was at the end of 2000 and, what year was it? End of 2011. I went away for 3 days to set some goals for 2012. I set a yearly goals, what I wanted to achieve. And I achieved all of them.
Yeah.
But that's
set bigger ones then.
I need to set more bigger ones. Yeah, but I mean that was the first time I did it. And the thing is, when you set these goals, and even if they're big or small, when you achieve them, it gives you a sense of satisfaction.
Sure.
It helps to build your confidence, and it makes you realise that you can really take this somewhere.
Sure.
And I think the important thing in life is that we've got time to do other things in life, but we don't take no time out to set our goals and be committed to them.
Sure.
Setting the goals is one thing, but being committed to them is another. It does require a lot of energy put towards it, and it requires focus, but
sure,
the rewards are you can reap the rewards at the end of it.
Yeah. I cannot see how anybody watching this video could not be 100% inspired. I cannot see that. I'm sure there are going to be loads of people that want to meet you, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people just wanting to thank you. I can tell you this, because we've sent out thousands of emails over the years. We are going to get flooded with emails telling us what an inspiration you are. So I just want to thank you for that. I'm just grateful to be in this position where I can be the facilitator of this information, because we were just talking before this video about how I feel like our industry needs to see this. Because, our industry sometimes does get a bit of a bad name. Just taking it from my point of view, we've trained a lot of people. You've sat in courses with us. You're always sat there at the front. You're always coming up to me at events saying, shaking my hand, saying how great everything is, how grateful you are. And you go and you do stuff. And then there are other people who don't go and do stuff. And sometimes the industry, or people get tarred with the brush of other people. And you've just said it really simply. Go out, make a decision, do it. It's done, no excuses. And I just want to thank you for allowing us to share this with everyone.
At the same time, I want to thank you, because you've been a great inspiration to me throughout my journey.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And likewise, I feel very humbled. So if people want to catch up with you, should I give you a minute, or are you all right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's all right.
Are you gonna you maybe be at some of our events coming up, will you? Some networking events?
Yeah, I'm looking to be at the next Super Conference event. I'm currently signed up to some of the packages. With Johnny Cass, I'm going to be there at the end of the month.
Okay.
For mindset training.
Do you get to networking events as well? Do you sometimes go to other events?
I'll go to the regular networking events in Canary Wharf.
Yeah. Great.
My area that I work in is Greenwich.
Yeah.
And I'm basically at the Canary Wharf.
Yeah.
And I also go to the Berkshire Property Meet as well.
Right, and I'll be there next month wearing something silly again.
Yeah.
And maybe I get you on stage at the Super Conference, share a bit more about your story. Be up for that?
Yeah, I'm always up for a challenge.
Yeah. All right, brilliant. Peter, thank you very much. That's amazing. Thank you.